Welcome, everybody, and thank you for taking some time to listen to us talk about this exciting new opportunity that Mercent is bringing to market with Google. So I specifically want to talk about how multi-channel retailers can leverage the power of digital advertising to drive quality shoppers into their physical stores to drive sales. This new program from Google is called Local Inventory Ads, sometimes also referred to as Local Product Listing Ads or Local PLAs. And I want to cover why this is important, how it works, and how Mercent can help activate you as a multi-channel retailer onto it. So, along with Google, they provided some research for us that kind of frames the importance of this problem. So first off, over 90% of consumers today do some amount of research digitally, either on their desktop tablets and importantly on their smartphones, before they visit a store. Also, over 80% of consumers report that they are more likely or would be more likely to visit a physical store location if they were able to, or if they did, check the availability of a specific product or products in that store before they visited. And lastly, even today, 30% or slightly over 30% of the consumers that are already in your physical stores have done that type of research either on their smartphone or on their tablet or desktop from their house. So the convergence of digital engagement with in-store shopping is already occurring and is accelerating. Before I go into a little bit more about what these local inventory ads are, let me share you some of the business side of this impact of why we as advertisers should care about it. I've shared the consumer behavior that is driving this. From a couple of advertisers that we've been able to construct a representative example of what this ad format is. So what we typically would see as a representative example is $10,000 of spend put into a local inventory ad campaign. That'll drive, say, about 250,000 impressions across both desktops and mobile devices, particularly smartphones. That generates about, at a 4% click-through, about 10,000 clicks. Again, we're using some typical averages across several clients. About 6% of those were determined to have visited in-store. So out of that, now we're down to 600 in-store visits. Applying typical kind of conversion rates that multi-channel retailers know from their stores, we found that about 60% of those people who are visiting a store convert to an order, and at a $50 average order size for that in-store purchase, works out to $18,000 in sales. So for that $10,000 investment in spend, we're already generating $18,000 in in-store sales. And that's on top of the lift that the local inventory ad component adds to the online and the mobile ads themselves. So already we're seeing at this early day and in this early adoption of some positive ROI from this program. So now I want to describe a little bit for those of you that are unfamiliar, what is this program and how does it look? Well, let's start with the desktop, and there's both a desktop and a smartphone component to the local inventory ad program. Let's say there's a shopper named Joe who's looking for a tent. He searches for tents in Google, and he's presented with the product listing ads that I'm sure you're all aware of. What's unique about the local inventory ad is a component that will show up here that will indicate in-store. So if I blow this up a little bit, this is what this looks like. Most of the components here look like your product listing ad, the title, the price, the URL of the seller, but then you have the location pin and the in-store indicator. And this ad functions in two different ways. If the user, the shopper Joe, clicks on the picture or on the URL, he clicks through to the retailer's website. If he clicks on the in-store highlight, he's brought to a local storefront that's powered by Google. And this is what that local storefront is. So this local storefront then brings up, in this example, a hypothetical retailer Bargain Buys, and it presents the consumer with the address to the nearest store, the phone number for that store, an opportunity to change the store, and an opportunity to click through to their website directly and buy it online or go to their website. Additionally, it's providing full product details and other items that are available from that retailer. So On the desktop, and particularly on the mobile phone, this is a very powerful experience, especially with many of the challenges that we've seen retailers face in creating mobile experiences. So even though this particular this experience is powered by Google, it is a fully capable storefront that is specific to the local inventory advertiser. So that's the desktop experience. It's a very similar experience on the smartphone. And so let me go into some of those differences on the desktop experience versus the smartphone. So as I kind of showed here on the desktop, the PLAs can manifest themselves in a couple of ways. What they call the multi-channel PLA is an ad that can click through both to the client, to the retailer's website, as well as to their Google local storefront. That's the blue example here, and the blue 4-person tent. I just explained how that could click through to the website or to the Google powered storefront. The online PLA are the tan examples. Those click through only to the retailer's website. Because they are online, they by definition are not providing any local inventory, so there's not a local storefront for them to go to. And lastly, there is the local inventory ad pure, and that's the green example where this would only click through to the local storefront. Important note that I want to make here is the multi-channel PLA, even aside from the local aspect of it, we find that there's a 5% improvement on click-through rate just by having that pin and the in-store nearby information. So even aside from the benefit of driving qualified traffic to your stores, your online campaign benefits from a 5% improvement in click-through rate simply by having the local inventory available for the consumer to view and see. On the mobile device, and here we're seeing how the PLAs and the local PLAs show up on a smartphone, kind of very similar. But because space is at a premium, you'll see that the pin shows up with the distance to the nearest store. So in the case of Acme tents, it's 6.8 miles away. Just like the desktop, on the desktop, there's a couple of versions of the PLAs. There are the online PLA pure and the local inventory. There's not really a concept here of multi-channel. An example of the online is the tan Camp World, hypothetical example. If the user clicks through on that, they're taken to the Camp World site. This is because Camp World is not providing the local inventory. The green examples from Acme Tents and B&K Sports, again, hypothetical examples, those are local inventory ads. And here, the click-through goes to that Google-powered storefront, which is a custom storefront that's unique to that particular retailer, so you get a chance to direct them to your store as well as allow the consumer to view other products in that store. So that's an overview of why it matters, the consumer behavior driving this, and what the local inventory ad format is. How do we make that happen? How does Google make that happen, and how do we help you gain that opportunity? Well, today for your PLA program, you're sending online inventory and you're sending product information for those products that are available online. That's the left-hand side of this chart here. And we're facilitating that and managing that and optimizing that content for many retailers. What Google needs to make this program happen is the analogous data for the physical stores. So they need to get the local price and inventory, the product data for those products that are available in their stores, and as well as information on the store listings. And this is information that we help retailers pull together, optimize, and send into the Google platform. The way we do that is by augmenting our current platform. So this is perhaps pretty busy to see for some of you that are a couple of feet away here, but basically all the blue is the stuff that we have built into Mercent Retail over the years that allows us to bring in prices, inventory, product data, transform that, optimize it, set filters, content rules, and send it to all kinds of channels on the web, including Google product listing ads. But we've just been able to add onto that the yellow components, which are the local, which is the same data essentially, but is not specific to just the online store, but brings in that data relevant to each physical store instance. So local price, local inventory for store XYZ, And if there are local products only, we will bring that in. And because that's embedded in our platform, all the tools that have been built over the years to enable retailers and our clients to succeed on product listing ads as well as other channels come to bear and are available. So within our tool, this is an example of some screenshots that allow you to look at the stores and see what products do I have available at a particular store or a particular set of stores. Perhaps you want to look at your stores in the state of Washington or in the state of Florida and see what you're selling there, what you're advertising there, what you're spending on those particular stores and which products are selling. You can also view that by the products and see which products are selling and at what store. Because it's embedded within our platform, the content rules, which we use to optimize the content, are available to all this local product information and local product inventory. All our product filtering and assortment, so if you want to set assortments that define I want to advertise on these products in warm climates like Arizona and New Mexico and Florida, I want to advertise different products at different rates in colder climates depending on season. Those are some of the things that you can do right away with the Mercent platform. We also sync up with Google Places so that there is not an extra feed that's needed to get store information into Mercent. To the extent that you have a Places or a Google Business Listings account, as they're now known, we sync up with that automatically. And so with a couple minutes here, just want to touch on some things like what that means for the holiday period. We have retailers in this program. We're very actively integrating retailers into this program, and I think it is of value for any multi-channel retailer. I think there's opportunity right now to do this, and let me kind of touch on what that means for holiday. Kind of three things that we think are potentially valuable right away. First is local inventory ads, local PLAs, benefit retailers from driving in store, but also from improving the efficacy of mobile conversions and mobile PLAs. In this example, we think adding local inventory to your PLA program drives a 41% improvement in return on ad spend that's realized primarily by driving traffic into your physical stores. So this chart on the left-hand side is the performance of a typical mobile-only product listing ad. Clicks, average CPC around 44 cents, conversion rate of 1% on your site, drives a certain amount of sales and return on ad spend. You add to that the clicks, the visits to that Google storefront, and the visits to the physical store adds on a substantial and meaningful number of additional sales so that your total return on ad spend for that mobile experience and that mobile spend becomes more effective. So point number one is just adding local inventory improves the efficiency of your mobile PLA campaign. The second thing that we think is very compelling is this allows you to extend the efficacy of your digital advertising. The free shipping cutoff, the expedited shipping cutoff are important dates in every e-commerce marketer's calendar. With local inventory ads, you can go further than that. So once you pass that free shipping, once you pass that expedited shipping cutoff, it makes sense to probably spend less on advertising your online products, but all those shoppers that are doing their last week or their last minute shopping out in the malls and in the high street, they are looking on their mobile phones for where to buy products. Local inventory ads give you an opportunity to be there. Given that that's the biggest couple of weeks of shopping in the year, this is a material impact if you have that information and if you're getting it served onto Google properly. And lastly, with local inventory ads, you can use day part modifiers, bid modifiers to be more efficient and more present during those time periods that we've found that shoppers are out and about and searching primarily on their smartphones for where is this type of product. And that's from the 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. time slot. And so using day parting bid modifiers allows you to be more efficient with your local inventory ads. So to recap there, we're really excited about this program. And I think for multi-channel retailers who recognize that like 88% or so of retail still occurs in stores, this is a great chance to bridge and bring together the power and measurability of digital advertising with the closing of sales in their in-store. So to recap, Local inventory ads improve the performance of PLAs on mobile devices, helps drive traffic to your stores, and through that Google-powered storefront, gives a very pleasing mobile experience to consumers to explore your other products. And be happy to talk with any of you afterwards about how Mercent can help you unlock that data, transform it, and get it available, and how we can help you manage the local inventory ad program for you and your consumers this holiday. Thanks.